to the motherland, what would be some of those songs, if you're even thinking about it sonically?
I mean, Busta Rhymes, put your hands where my eyes can see. You know, come on, you guys are already
there. What's so significant about that song, that drum?
I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be talking about drums the whole time. I mean, because it's such a feel to the drums. I mean, you take the bass out of the system in your car, you take the bass out of any kind. I mean, you're not gonna feel the music. There's nothing to feel. And the drums give us the foundation. It connects us to the earth. You know what I mean? Even if a better example is if all the highs went out, you know, all the mid-range of the speakers, you know, where you hear the voice, but you hear, you're gonna move. It's gonna move your body. So that's the main thing about that record. Before he even says a word.
Before you right.
Doesn't have to say anything. You can pitch it.
Yes, Dr. Paul, what would you say?
I like the classics. You know, I like some things that when I do speak to the 8th graders, when I play Grandmaster Splash, the message, you know, they may not know all the parameters around it, but they at least know the part, don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. So they don't lose my head. And so from that point, we can talk about other issues, you know, social issues and the other things that were prevalent during that time. So that's for me, that's my connection.
Okay.
I think the connection, I think it's very, very simplistic when we don't overthink it. What I mean by that is, when you say Africa, the first question that comes to mind is what part of Africa?
Right, yeah.
There's 1,000 different dialects on the continent of Africa. So we can kind of connect the brothers in Central Africa, or Mozambique, or Ghana, right to Liberty City, connecting to the Tulare crew. We can connect someone in Ethiopia.
Come on,
right to
somebody.
Memphis. You understand what I'm saying? Same people, same blood, and more important than that, same spirit, same vibration. You understand what I'm saying? How would you know if you put on a beat right now who's African in the audience and who's not? Unless your ass is dancing on a beat. Oh, excuse me. Wait, hold on. My wife told me there's children in the audience. I gotta watch it. But I'm right. It's a vibration and it's a spirit. You understand what I'm saying? When I looked over some of the questions, I was like, wow, this is interesting. I had to put them down because I didn't want to corrupt what I needed to say from the spirit side of me, as opposed to, I brought the notes by the way anyway. I was saying from the spirit side of me, the Minister of Information, the Public Entity side of me brought the notes. But I just said myself from the spirit side of me, every song that we hear that's hip hop is African. Plain and simple, you can't escape that.
Say a little bit more about that, because
what is it that said? You mean feel a little bit more? Just like Nab said, you put on a Busta Rhymes joint, you can feel Africa. But even when we had no drums, the beginning of Cell Therapy by the Goody Mob. African. You understand?
so I'm gonna come back to the sound, and let's deal with like the lyrics and the content. How is the content and the topics of those content, how is that connecting and serving as an inspiration as well, back and forth? Like if you're even thinking about Africa and African Americans and just the notion of colonization or issues, social issues that come out of the lyrics, what kind of connections can we draw to the tradition that is very much a part of the music that we're listening to now in terms of the lyrics and the verses and the topics?
I think we understood what was happening. Some of us understood what was happening on a global scale, although we were here locally. But the way we got the information and the news was filtered through a lens, all right, that we had to semi-trust. So a lot of those early songs were strictly about, and I think nowadays, I don't know how the young people say it, but when we came up, we used to say, we keep it in a buck. We keep it real. We keep it 100.
100.
You understand what I'm saying? But what does that truly mean in a global context?
Right.
When you say I'm keeping it in a buck, if you that dude up on the corner of 125th Street, Lenox Avenue, and you can only see a mile or so in each direction, then how real are you keeping it? You understand what I'm saying? If that's going to be the source of your inspiration for you to write, all right? But if you're going to include, and I'm not saying those songs didn't go global because they did. I'm just saying, so if you want to write from a global perspective, in most cases you have to try. Because Nat Geo ain't going to get it. The History Channel not going to get it. The Discovery Channel just don't work.
So hip hop is that vehicle for you to understand what's happening in a global space.
Yeah, and then even when the filmmakers did attempt to make the connection, how many people in the audience seen the movie Rise?
With the dance.
Gotta see that movie. They did an African warrior connection. And without the brothers and sisters in LA even going to Africa, when they did the comparison of how the beats and the music made them move, they were doing the same dance moves. I'm talking about crumping was already there in Africa. Sad but true, and parents, buckle your seatbelt, twerking was already there. You understand? We just borrowed it from Africa. Alright? Alright, white girls, hold your seat. We don't want nobody twerking up in here, so just chill out for a second. I'm just saying, it was already there. So it's not a negative thing, so to speak. Once we have to try to define it and get it a song on the charts and have to explain it to a television network, BET, MTV, or the other ones that's manufacturing hip-hop now, then we have to try to define it and explain it to them. But if you really want to understand it, just come to anybody's family reunion.
You brought up dance. I want to talk to you, Dr. Paul, because we, backstage, you were talking about the ways in which these Africanisms show up in things beyond just the lyrics. You talked about dance earlier. Can you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, if you think about, particularly in the West African regions, how the music is a lot of things. Their music, one, it's purposeful and it's participatory. And so when you put those two together with the dance didn't just happen in a vacuum. And when you combine that with the rhythm of the music, the syncopation, which in itself is Africanism, earlier musicologists thought that it was just savage people, but it was really genius with all the polyrhythms. And then you get the dancing to go with that, break dancing, and now in Africa the Pansula dance that Tofu does, that you'll see in Beyonce's the Girls video. It's African dance, and if you look at that music, it's the dance itself. It's a representation of the rhythm in the music. So it's like Professor said earlier, it shows up in our music all the time. All you have to do is just trace it, and you're gonna end back in Africa.
And if we're gonna trace it, now if we were talking about this as well, if you're gonna trace the culture and look at the people who are producing the culture, the South oftentimes gets written out of the narrative of what hip hop has become. We tend to place that master narrative in the Bronx, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen there. Let me put that out there.
But you know that's an argument.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But what I am saying is the South and the music that was produced here that hip hop samples from comes from a particular geographic location. Say a little bit more about what we were talking about.
Ooh, I got so much to say. Okay, but I'm gonna answer that. I always describe. I'm from Carolina, as you heard, and I experienced rap when I was 10 years old, Sugar Hill Gang, and later on I started DJing in '84, so rap was however old it was at that time. And I got records from the West Coast, New York, I got to see Shy so I was getting Atlanta. But I didn't really know or connect to where records really came from. I didn't know that Egyptian levels, what Cali was, 'cause I never went to Cali. So the way, and of course I moved on and moved to Atlanta and I got in the industry and I learned and I backtracked even past the Sugar Hill Gang, back to Cool Herc and how it started, to continue learning about this culture I love. And this is the way I always describe it. You know, Eric B. and Rakim sampled James Brown. James Brown is from Georgia. African Bambaataa with Planet Rock was influenced by some guys from Germany. Kraftwerk, Trans-Europe Express is a record that sounded like a train. You just have to hear it if you don't know it. Trans-Europe Express influenced Planet Rock. Well, the South took Planet Rock, and Planet Rock, you know, evolved into Miami bass and Atlanta bass.
Right.
There's a record, Profile Records, Trigger Man. There's it's that New Orleans bounce. That's from a group, I think it's Trigger Man. But that's a record out of New York City. But New Orleans created this whole sound based off that loop. So that's hip hop.
Right.
That's why it's global. That's why it's really everything. That's my short answer for that.
So one of the songs that we talked about was Lil Jon.
Oh yeah.
And the call and response. I remember when John came out and he was just doing call and response and the chanting. I mean, it was extremely tribal, but he caught so much flack for that sound.
No lyrics, right?
Because there was no lyrics.
Right.
But it was call and response, which is one of the most crucial Africanisms.
Yeah.
So when we were backstage, we were talking about this because oftentimes there was flack around this idea of where are the verses, where are the lyrics, why is there just call and response? What's your feedback on
Let me tell you, anybody know Club 559?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, fucking nervous, man.
So listen, you know, Atlanta, it didn't take me long once I moved here, especially as a young man in college and trying to find my way, that you had to be in Atlanta and really live here, not just work here, but really live here and understand the community and the people. The people from Atlanta, the people that's of Atlanta, dance and move a certain way. So a club on Peachtree is different from Club 559 in the West End. So Lil Jon, this is a true story. Lil Jon developed his whole style of music based around what people really dance to at Club 559. That was not a place where you would hear a lot of Bad Boy records. You would hear 8-Ball and MJG. You would hear 666 Mafia. You know what I mean? You would hear The Organization. You would hear, of course, you know, Raheem the Dream, all the bass artists.
Heavy drum and bass.
So, you know, it's call and response and it's dancing. And in the South, we like to dance. And we like to party. And it's not always very metaphorical. We're not necessarily trying to always think so hard. To put it mildly, right? I mean, think about it. You know, all the bass records is about dancing. Tootsie Roll and some records I can't even pronounce right.
A little bit more dancing, bro.
So, anyway, you know, I'm gonna keep going, but yeah, I just know for a fact that's how Lil Jon was inspired to make the music, to dance, to make people have fun, to lose their mind. And that's still his thing now. He's just doing it on an EDM level.
And now, I mean, with trap music, which if we're gonna talk about hip hop, we have to talk about it in its contemporary way, in its contemporary style, which is trap music. And trap music is one of the city's greatest exports. And I'm just saying.
True story.
I mean, trap music is,
Absolutely.
Atlanta has defined trap music in terms of style and sound and lyrics, and they're doing it everywhere outside of Atlanta.
Absolutely.
So we have to acknowledge that. I mean, we cannot be afraid to own that part of the culture. And so I want to talk a little bit about what that means, Paula. You know, what does it mean for a music like that, which many could say also has those elements of drum and bass and heavy on the keys, heavy on violin and percussion. You know, how do we understand that influence in the most contemporary way that we are experiencing hip hop right now in the form of trap music?
Wow, that's a good question. And it's actually one of those questions where I'm torn.